We're going to go ahead and start in mountain position with the feet directly underneath the hip sockets. We can lift up the toes, spread the toes out, and then place the toes back down onto the mat individually, one by one, shifting our weight forward slightly onto the balls of our feet, still putting pressure onto the heels, actively reaching the crown of the head up to the ceiling as we let the shoulders release down and away from the ears. Turning the palms forward, we can go ahead and close the eyes here. Scanning through the body, checking in, noticing how we're feeling today, noticing what's going on in our body, becoming aware of any body part that might need a little TLC, a place that might need to be honored today as we move. And then taking a minute to focus on the breath, slowing the breath down, breathing fuller and deeper into the belly, letting the ribs expand as we inhale. And then exhaling completely before we start that inhale, starting in the belly. Finding that nice, slow, diaphragmatic breath. Remembering to honor our body, focusing on the breath, focusing on the body, letting go of any of our judgments, our competitions, and expectations we have of ourselves. Just moving and breathing. Take a nice inhale, sweeping the fingertips up to the ceiling, letting the palms meet. Exhaling, coming down to the heart center. Letting the fingertips come to the forehead, linking the mind, body, and breath. On our next inhale, we sweep all the way up to the sky. Palms together, exhaling to the heart. Inhaling and reaching up. Exhaling to the heart. This time we'll go ahead and inhale, reach all the way up. Hinging at the hips, swan diving, moving into forward fold. Releasing here. Letting the hands move to the shins, lifting halfway up, pulling the shoulders back away from the ears. Elongating through the spine. Letting the hands come back behind us, palms facing the ground. Into airplane. We'll go ahead and shift forward, moving into chair pose. And then we'll move with the breath. We inhale all the way up. Exhale, swan diving forward, fold down. Inhaling, halfway lifting up. Exhaling to airplane. Inhaling, shifting forward into chair. Exhale, holding. Inhaling, sweeping up. Exhaling, forward fold down. Inhaling, half lifting up. Exhaling to airplane. Inhaling to chair. Exhale, holding. Inhaling, sweeping up. Exhaling, forward fold. Holding down here. We're going to go ahead and bring the hands down to the mat, stepping back with both feet, hips up to the sky, head moves through the arms, alternating, heel presses into the mat. And then bringing both knees down to the mat, moving the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees under the hips, and moving through cat and cow. Starting with the spine, with the tailbone, going up to the ceiling, and then pulling down towards the ground, pulling the belly button in towards the spine as we round into cat, reversing that curve as we move into cow. One breath, one movement. Just finding that connection of breath and movement together. And then letting the tops of the feet come onto the mat as we sink the hips back onto the heels, letting the forehead come to rest on either the mat or by stacking the hands or stacking our fists into child's pose. Extending the hands out in front of us, we'll do a modified vinyasa flow. We can inhale to kneeling plank, exhale to a kneeling chaturanga, inhaling, pressing up, exhaling, pressing back, inhaling to kneeling plank, exhaling to chaturanga, inhaling up and exhaling back, inhaling kneeling plank, exhaling to chaturanga, inhaling up, exhaling back. One more time. Inhaling kneeling plank, exhale to chaturanga, inhaling up and going back to our child's pose. We can go ahead and come back up onto all fours. We're going to go ahead and take the right foot out to the side. And then we're just going to go ahead and rock back onto the left heel and then come back up and then rock back onto the left heel, coming back up, rocking back, coming up, and rocking back, coming back up, back to all fours. We'll go ahead and take the left foot out to the side. And again, we'll go ahead and just rock back onto that right heel, back up, onto the left, or onto the right heel, sorry. Back up, rocking back, coming back up, and then one more time, rocking back, and then coming back up. Let's go ahead, come back to all fours. We'll take the hands out in front of us, planting through the hands. We lift the hips going into down dog, pressing the sit bones up to the ceiling. Taking the right foot up and then pulling knee to chest. Coming back to down dog, taking the other foot up to the sky, pulling knee to chest, and then stepping forward moving into a forward fold. And again, we go ahead and bring the hands to the shins, lifting halfway up, flattening out the back. This time we'll go ahead on our exhale, move into forward fold again. And as we inhale, reverse the swan dive and bring it all the way up. And exhale, release. Taking that left foot, we're going to step out to the side and then turn, moving into high lunge. Moving into warrior two, transitioning. We can widen out the stance if we want to. As long as we track that middle knee over the knee going out over the middle toes, we should be able to see that big toe on the inside of the knee. We turn the front palm up and reach up into reverse warrior. We can look down over the shoulder if it's too much strain on our neck, or we can look up. Moving back to our warrior two. Moving into either a modified side angle, letting that front arm gently land on that front thigh, or we can bring that front hand down to the ankle and the floor, reaching over with the top arm. And then we bring it back up to warrior two. Straightening out the front leg, pressing the hip back, reaching forward, moving into triangle pose, opening up to the side, thinking about stacking the shoulders on top of one another. And then we can go ahead, come back up to our warrior two. We're going to turn our toes to the corners of the mat, coming into sun pose. We're going to alternate between moonflower, sunflower. So we inhale up, exhale, bringing the elbows to the ribs into moonflower. Inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, big circle down, moving into sunflower. Inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, moonflower. Inhaling up, exhaling, sunflower. Inhaling up, exhaling, moonflower. Inhaling up, exhaling, sunflower. Inhaling up, moonflower. Reaching up to sunflower. One more of each. And then we come back up, turning to the right side now. We're going to shorten that stance, moving into that high lunge. And then turning and stepping that back foot back. We move into warrior two on the right side. Again, we take that front palm, reach up, going into reverse warrior. either looking down over the shoulder or looking up to the sky. And moving back to Warrior Two, actively reaching fingertip to fingertip, and then moving into either modified side angle or full side angle. Coming back up, we go ahead, straighten out the front leg, pressing the hip back and reaching, moving into triangle pose here, opening up through the chest. We can let the bottom hand either land on the shin or the ankle or the mat. Dropping the top hand and turning to the side of the mat, dropping the head, moving into standing straddle. Focusing on hinging at the hips, taking a nice long inhale, lengthening through the spine as we exhale, hinging forward at the hip, drawing the crown of the head towards the floor. Bending into that right knee. We can drop the tailbone down if we want to, going a little deeper into that side lunge. And then we can switch, moving over into the left knee. Coming back to center, heel toe, walking our feet together, moving into standing or into forward fold, Hands moving to the shins, lifting halfway up, shoulders back away from the ears. Arms coming back behind us, palms facing the ground, into airplane. Shifting forward, moving into chair pose. We have the option to lift through the heels into a balanced chair. And then we can inhale up and release. Let's go ahead and come into a tree pose. We'll start with the right leg, planting the foot firmly into the ground. We want to bring the knee and the hip over the ankle. So we don't want to let that hip sag out. We want to pull it up and in, engaging the core in the lower part of the body, actively reaching the crown of the head up to the sky, nice and tall. When we're ready, we can either bring the left foot to the ankle, keeping the toe on the ground. We can come up to the calf. We can go anywhere above or below the kneecap. We just don't want to put pressure on the inside of that knee. So we can bring it up if we want to. Our hands can come to our Anjali Mudra. They can stay here. They can reach out. They can reach all the way up. Just going where the hands feel safe yet balanced today. And it might be different than what you expect. And then we release. And we'll go ahead and switch, Moving into the left foot, spreading out those toes, getting a nice good foundation, almost imagining roots growing out of the bottom of the foot. And again, pulling the hip and the knee in line over the ankle, engaging that lower core, reaching up nice and tall, letting the shoulders relax. When we're ready, again, the right foot can go to the ankle, the calf, or above the knee. And letting the hands go where they feel safe, yet challenged today. And breathing. And releasing. Coming back to our mountain pose. We can go ahead and turn towards the front of the mat. Inhaling and reaching up. Exhaling, making a fist, bringing the fist back onto the sacrum, pushing the hips forward, opening up the throat, opening up the chin to the sky, dropping the elbows down and back into a standing camel pose. Coming back to center. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, hinging at the hips, swan diving, moving into forward fold, letting the crown of the head release to the ground here. Focusing on hinging at the hips, drawing the chest towards the thighs, letting the crown of the head drop down to the floor. We can use the breath to lengthen on the inhale and go a little deeper on the exhale. Letting the hands find the mat, moving back into down dog. Sit bones up to the ceiling. We're going to go ahead and move forward, moving into plank position. Bending through the elbows, hugging the ribs into chaturanga. Turning the feet up and then pressing up into up dog. Tucking the toes back underneath us and then moving back into down dog. Bringing the knees down to the mat. And we'll go ahead and move into child's pose. Coming around to a seated position, we'll go ahead and go into butterfly, bringing the bottoms of the feet together, sitting up nice and tall. Then we can just come to a nice, easy seated pose. Taking a big inhale, reaching up. Exhaling, releasing wide. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, releasing wide. One more time, we'll go ahead and inhale, reach all the way up. Let the palms come together, coming down into the heart center. The light in me accepts and reflects the light in you. Thank you.